Hello, we're back. So, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Yeah. We're gonna get real and raw because I've been gone for a while. I'm back for right now. Let's get into it. We're calling this episode The Turning Point. If you're new here, format is I sit in a chair, I wrote notes on my phone, which in today's world, I've now run through Claude and it's given me like nicer looking bullet points. Is it any better than actually just writing it out myself? I don't know. I wrote it all out myself and then I put it through Claude and I was like, can you make this look fancier and like structure it in an organized way? Is it better? I don't know. I'm leaning into AI, trying to get it to help me as much as I can. We're trying, right? That's all you can do. You can try and we'll figure it out as we go. So, typical format of this. I sit in a chair. I read notes off my phone. I tell you how I feel and that's it. We don't have anything crazy fancy. Guys, I went too hard, which I knew going in. That's how I work. The ADHD brain goes 150%, and then it's like, oh, we're burnt out. And then you kind of got 10%. Then you go 150% again, but you don't go like quite as hard. Maybe you go 145%, and then you got like 15% in the reserve. And you just go back and forth. And if you're any sort of ADHD form person, whatever that works in your brain, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, it's all or nothing. And we try the best that we can to get around that, but it's hard. It's the stability, the structure, it's not our forte, but we can work on it. There's things we can do that we can work on it. So it is a constant battle. It is getting better because I'm working on it, but it is still really hard. Because I went too hard, and then it was that 150%, and then that 10%. When that 10% came around, basically everything stopped, and it was just like go, 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 and then nothing. As a result of that, the podcast stopped, the Ambo build episodes, that all stopped. Like, it's like I hit a wall. So I filmed everything for this. I have like 10 episodes for the podcast and for this thing. They're in the tank, they're sitting there. They need to be edited and produced and all that jazz, but I filmed it all. It's there, it's waiting to go, but I hit a wall and I couldn't do it anymore. Almost everything in my life hit a wall. I had 6 months, while I was building this thing, I had 6 months of almost no income. And then it was 6 months of lots of expenditures building that thing. I have an insane amount of money into that thing. Rightly so. It looks cool. I wanted it to be big and flashy and look real awesome. And it does. But it's not free. Yeah, that was 6 months of a lot of money leaving my account. And then another 6 months of I'm not building my business. I'm building this part, which I guess you could argue that I'm building the business, but it's not directly like I'm making connections with different customers and clients and I'm advancing stuff and I'm pushing that and I'm trying to line up all the fundamentals which would make a business work. So during that 6 months, while like this is all flashy and Instagram looks cool and all that stuff and I'm building this thing and it's fun, I'm adventuring and all that, the reality is the back end of my life kind of slowly crumbling apart. It's like I'm trying to hold on to the stuff, but I'm only one guy. I can only do so many things. A simple example, I simply forgot to pay my property tax. That's one of those things. Like, I pay all my taxes, but I forgot to do it. Now I have to pay penalties because I forgot about doing it. It's one more thing to add to the things going on in my brain. That's just part of the reality of that ADHD thing. I'm 150% excited about this. I'm 10% excited about paying my taxes. Now I still have to do it. That falls in that 10%. I do the things. But that 150% sure makes that 10% pretty dim in the light of everything that I have going on. That was a simple thing where that kind of stuff, just lots of those types of things all come into effect. And then when that 150 drops down to 10, you're like, ugh, reality sucks. I have to pay more money. And like, remember, 6 months of no money coming in, and they got to pay property tax. That's a large chunk of change, not necessarily the funnest thing. So that starts to play with your brain a little bit. Social media was rolling, rocking and rolling. Nobody knew that I was dealing with anything struggling on the back end. I don't talk about that stuff on the internet. It's not fun to talk about on the internet. So this is what we call the visibility trap, right? Everything on social media looks like everything's all hunky-dory. You're going a million miles an hour. Everything's awesome. It's fun. Hooray, we're having a good time, which we are having a good time. But there's the back end of things where it's like nobody really knows that I'm struggling. Like, I would say that I'm more transparent about it than a lot of people are, but I don't put everything out there. I have a lot of people that are like, oh man, you put everything out on the internet. Like, I could never do that. I'm like, man, you have no idea how much stuff I don't put on the internet. Maybe I put out more than the average person, but some of the struggles that I got going on the back end, yeah, y'all ain't never heard of those. I'm telling you now, there's a lot of struggles on the back end of things. And in my head, in your head, what the human naturally does, we want to celebrate the wins, or we like to watch other people failing. That is a thing. You like watching fail videos. Some of my most successful content online is about the struggles that I have, and people like watching that. For whatever reason, we like watching other people struggle. Now, I don't know if it's because we like watching the progression of you finding out the unstruggle part of things, but we like that struggle part of things. For whatever reason, that's something that we all like to watch. There's all these little black flies here, and golly, they're just eating. They're like, I don't know if they're bothering me, but they keep bumping into me. I don't have these at home. I'm glad that it's cloudy today, because it's been like 90 to 100 degrees. And for this Canadian, I'm used to it being 35, 40 degrees, and it's definitely not. It's what? Oh, it's awesome. It's not so hot today. This is the neighbor across the street. He walked over here the other day, and he just wanted to introduce himself. He's an old military vet. The guy's 80 years old. I thought he was 65. Like, he looks freaking phenomenal for his age. So, it was pretty cool. We talked for 15, 20 minutes, and he's like, what's this thing? And I was like, oh, let me tell you about all that I'm doing. And he's like, that's so cool. I was like, you got to stay young. You got to stay out there. I'm like, keep it up, man. You're doing great. Cool. You don't even know me, but right on. I like old people. For what, man, they have life experience and stories, and it's just, sorry, rabbit trail. Back to this. The visibility trap. So, social media, everybody thinks that everything is going great, when really behind the scenes, not so awesome. And I'm sure we've all heard that from a lot of different social media people, that's a very common thing. So, it's just one more instance of, yep, that's a thing. So, I have a lot of people that I just came from Con Expo, and I'm traveling all around the States right now, and I meet all these people, and they're like, man, you're everywhere. Like, you're all over all of my feed all the time. I just see you nonstop all the time. Like, you must be doing excellent. Yeah, that's the visibility trap. I know how to post 40 pieces of content a day on 7 different social platforms, and yeah, it looks like I'm doing great. I'm very good at doing that. I'm the now. That ADHD brain of mine, man, I'm very good at posting 40 things a day on 7 different platforms. That's like, what's 40 times? That's almost 500 pieces of content. And I do it all manually. I don't have one thing that's like, let me just do, like, post it in one thing and it spits it out to all those things. I've tried them before. None of them work great. They all kind of suck a little bit. So I do it all manually. I'm posting everything manually. Gosh, I haven't done the math on that. There's some days where I post 500 pieces of content a day. No wonder I spend hours doing that. That's wild. Which feeds into the next point. It feels good. It feels good when someone's like, oh, I see you everywhere. Like, your stuff is awesome. Your content is amazing. Like, good job. Keep it up. I'm super inspired by what you do. Cool. Great. I like that. That's good on an emotional point. But that doesn't pay the bills. And I need to pay bills somehow. That's the shiny stuff, the fast, go, now, every day I'm doing this. I'm building this bumper right now. I put that online. It blows up. It's crazy. It's very cool. It's shiny. It's awesome. But that doesn't pay the bills. Me building a bumper doesn't pay bills. That's another one of those things where visibility without sales, the back end of things is kind of crumbling a little bit. Ultimately it comes down to, what's the point of it? If you have lots of visibility, but nobody's buying anything that you sell, like, what's the point? You're almost just wasting your time here, because if you don't have any sales, your business doesn't work. A business operates by selling something, a service, a product, whatever it is. That's a challenge that I face. Another really good example. We just went through April Fool's. The post that I created, that it went pretty viral in my world. Ton of views, ton of activity. But I spent an hour just prompting AI to get it to how I wanted it to look. And even then, it wasn't perfect. After an hour, I was like, okay, I've spent enough time doing this. Because in the back of my mind, I know that that's not translating to sales. Nobody's paying me to prompt AI to make them an April Fool's joke about my stuff, right? Like, that doesn't translate to business. So there's very little monetary value in that. which is something I need to be focusing on right now. I'm trying to set up a foundation for a business, but yet I'm focused on that shiny thing, that here's the exciting, fun April Fool's Day thing. I completely forgot about April Fool's. I saw one post in the morning and I was like, ding, idea, okay, here we go, let's make that a thing, let's make it happen. And I can admit right now, wasn't the best use of my time. It was fun, it was great, I like doing it, but it wasn't the best use of my time. That hour that I spent creating or prompting AI to do what I wanted it to do could have been spent making connections with other business guys. Oh, UPS is here. Let's pause. Okay, we're back. Mail is here. I got the mail. Got some stuff. Oh yeah, so that hour that I spent prompting AI to do all that stuff, I could have been making business connections. I could have been reaching out to business guys in the area. I could have been doing things that would have helped build a foundation of my company that I'm trying to grow. But that ADHD brain, ooh, shiny, poo, I can't even talk about it. I'm just like, it's exciting. I almost consider it a tax for my brain, just like it's a thing that I have to deal with, which moves into the next topic here. I was on SSRIs for 15 years. Not necessarily anybody's fault. My parents they signed me up for this because the government was giving me money. I got paid a lot of money just because I had ADHD. Like, there was programs that the Canadian government was like, yep, here you go. And man, they pumped me full of drugs a lot. And I tried all of them. And of course, the one that worked the best for me was the one that was the most expensive. Now, I got the loophole of my doctor that was giving them to me used to be an MD, but then he got into more social work and therapy and that kind of stuff, which it was actually pretty cool. So it was basically like I had a private doctor for 15 years because he could write me prescriptions for anything. He was an MD. If I had any actual like medical concerns, then I don't have to go through the Canadian medical system, which is not great. All you Americans down here, you're like, oh, Canada's free healthcare. Ha, yeah, try that. You have to sit in a hospital for 3 days to get any help. No, it's not free. Down here, you're like, cool, you're in and out in half an hour. And you're like, oh, wow, this is cool. Like, we don't have that in Canada. My niece right now, she spent a week in the hospital just to get some scans. She's a child. She spent a week in the hospital? That's incredibly taxing on your family. Mom's there with her the entire time. Never mind, who likes being in a hospital, especially when you're a kid? You have to just sit in a hospital for a week waiting for scans to happen? That's the stupidest thing ever. Canadian healthcare system sucks. I'm just saying, it sucks. I've been all over the world. It is way better than many other places. But everybody in Canada, there's this weird mental thing where they're like, oh yeah, this is great. No, it's not. It's literally not. Whatever. They're in their echo chamber. As I was saying, my parents were being fed via the Canadian government and the medical system. It's all intertwined, all that jazz. Plus they're paying us like, okay, here, take this ADHD meds and your kid will function. It did help. It did a lot of stuff. 15 years that I was on them, it was awesome. I was like a superhuman. And that was one of the things I was concerned about. In my teenage years, I could already see it. I was like, wow, I'm able to function super awesome with this stuff. I'm super successful because of this. How am I ever going to function without it? And I remember thinking that when I want to say I was 17, 18. And sure enough, when I was 30 is when I quit my SSRIs cold turkey. And it has been a wild ride ever since. So basically what's happened right now is once I quit my SSRIs, I've basically had to start retraining my brain how to think on its own. So I'm in the body of a 36-year-old. I am 36. But my brain, last year, I would have said that I was operating at like a 5-year-old mental state. Now, I'm able to function. I'm able to like take care of myself. But a lot of the time, the way I see my own brain, I'm 5 years old. This year, there has been growth. I would say that I'm at 10 years old this year now, which is great. When you say that, you're like, cool, I'm an old child, or I'm a broken old child. Like, my body is very broken. If you know any of my story, a lot of me does not work. I've been a very active person. I'm into extreme sports, and now my body's, at 36, my body's paying for that already. I'm all full of metal here and like joints and stuff all over the place. This knee, it moves like this. It's not supposed to do that. That was from a trampoline incident 15 years ago. Anyways, back on track here. There is progress that's happening. Last year I felt like a 5-year-old. This year I feel like a 10-year-old mentally. but that's growth. I am retraining my brain how to function without crazy stimulants allowing me to like hyper focus on stuff. My first business that I ran on my SSRIs, cool. I tripled my business in 3 years. Very successful. Now I'm trying to do this business. It's been 3 years and I haven't tripled it. I feel like I'm pretty much still at the beginning, which is crazy. I mean, circumstances are a little bit different, but for the most part, I still feel like I'm down here when if I was on SSRIs, I'd probably be up here. If notes, where'd you go? No, come back here. I don't want a video chat with my AI. So with that 10-year-old mindset that I find myself in all the time, the difficulty that I find there is I feel like I'm 10 years old, so then I don't have the maturity to see the shiny thing and be like, nope, that's not productive right now. Let's not chase the shiny thing. I'm 10 years old in my brain. I chase that shiny thing. I don't have that mental discipline anymore, which is really unfortunate now that I say that out loud. That does kind of suck. But in reality, that's where I am. I see something shiny, bam, I'm going to that thing. And like, there's been a couple moments where I'm like, no, I can't do that. I know I need to do something else. But for the most part, shiny stuff to Cody is like, gimme, gimme, gimme. But when you're always working on that shiny stuff, the back end, the foundation, the structure of what makes a business work fails. It doesn't have anything to stand on. It's not there. So that is something that I am currently working on. And another point to add to that, I'm trying to start a business in a new country while I'm laying down the foundation. While I don't have a place to live, I'm just staying in a vehicle that I can drive around. So I have no resources while I'm trying to do this. It's incredibly taxing and there's so much stuff going on. And I'm in this loop again where I'm trying to do so many things all at one time that none of it actually happens. You're spinning your wheels and not going anywhere. In a new country, working on visa stuff, working on where do I buy a house, I haven't made any money for 6 months. I can't even afford to buy a house. On and on and on and on and on. There's tons of stuff like that. Not having any resources, not having any connections. Like it's all very minimal and it's scattered all over the place, and it's not the recipe for creating a foundation, a structure, a solid platform to build a business on. So I'm currently figuring that out. Oh, and one more point. I'm not surrounded by my friends and family who love me, who encourage me, who fuel me up. Like, I'm very thankful for all the people that I meet in my travels, in my journey. Amazing. I have a wonderful community. Lots of people invite me all over the place. But it's not family. It's not that inner circle. And that's one of the things that humans, we need that inner circle to help us thrive and survive. So I don't have that all the time, which is another element that makes things just that little bit harder. But it's a dream that I'm chasing, and I know that if you chase your dream long enough, eventually it's got to happen. Things have got to figure it out. Dreams don't stay dreams forever. If you're actively chasing that dream, eventually it turns into reality. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Lots of people don't chase their dreams. They sit at home and they live status quo because it's safe, it's comfortable, it's everything's familiar all the time. Yeah, I get that there's a season for that, totally. I am not in that season. I don't have children. I don't have a wife yet. I have a girlfriend. We're going to get to that. But I don't have anything keeping me strapped down at home where my house is. I'm out here trying to expand my life, my reach, my vision. I'm trying to live the dream that I've dreamed of doing for a long time. I'm trying to build a new life in a new country, but it's not as easy as I was thinking that it was going to be. Like, wildly more difficult, and there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that needs to be in place, and I'm working on doing all of that, which funnels into the girlfriend piece. Now, I've recently started dating, which was a whole new thing to add into that 6-month category where all this stuff was going on. Throw dating in there and you're like, oh, I have less time to do stuff now because I'm excited about, ooh, shiny new relationship, girlfriend, shiny, very shiny. She's very beautiful, very smart, very intelligent, very thoughtful. Like, just the most amazing woman that I've ever met in my entire life. Like, phenomenal. Still is to this day. Side note, I could do an entire podcast just about how amazing she is. Maybe we'll do that on another podcast at another time. She brings a level of calmness and stability to me that I don't have on my own. When I'm left to my own self, completely unregulated, I don't feel like I'm nearly as successful. So now having her there, and as we grow in our relationship together, and that flourishes and blooms into a beautiful flower, if you want to call it that, I'm becoming a better leader, a better business owner, a better man, a better everything. She is inadvertently making me a better person. The most wonderful, kind, I'm constantly in this disbelief of, why is this woman paired with me? Like it almost feels unequal. I haven't dated a lot of people in my life. I'm very focused on the things that I want. She's the most intellectual, in tune individual that I have ever had a relationship with. And it is wildly, like, I don't even understand it. I'm definitely dating up, and I mean it's good for me, and she's interested in me, so I mean everything's working out pretty good so far. It's difficult being like, we're not around each other because I'm down here in Texas and she's back home in Canada. Not the easiest thing, but we're working on it. It's definitely hard, but we're definitely working on it, and it's been 7 months now. So back to what's keeping me going. We're gonna leave the dating thing there. This rig is doing exactly what I designed it to do. It's a go anywhere mobile. Now, my first tour down to Texas, ran into a couple problems along the way, but that was my first maiden voyage. I worked for 6 months, built that thing into what you see there, minus the big cool tires on it. And I drove it 100 kilometers before I left for a 2,000 kilometer journey. And I was like, well, we'll figure it out on the way. I'm a licensed mechanic. That's what I did for 20 years. So I just put all my tools in that thing. I'm like, oh, I can fix it anywhere. That's a super common engine. Like, you can get parts pretty much anywhere for it. I'm staying in America. I'm not terribly worried about it. It should be all right. And it was all right for the most part. And that all worked. Now I got back home, refined a bunch of stuff, rebuilt some stuff, made some stuff better. And I brought my motorcycle with me now too. So that's another insurance thing. If this thing breaks down, bam, I just take my motorcycle off and I can run around. I can go get parts. I can go do whatever I want. It works awesome. It works great. So this is doing exactly what I designed it to do. I can now operate completely off-grid. I can go out to the middle of nowhere, but I have Starlink. Bam, I have internet. I run a media company. Internet is important. I have solar panels on the roof. I have power inverter, so I can, if the solar panels don't create enough electricity in the battery to run all the electronics in there, I just start the engine. I can run off of that. That engine is a giant generator. That works too. That it is a functioning tool, and I'm very proud of what I've built here. It got me out of Canada for the winter. Not all the winter, but like half the winter-ish, sort of. So I left Canada. I've been down in the States now for a couple months where it's nice and warm. And all my friends and family at home are like, it's cold, it's still snowing. I'm like, yeah, that's why I left. I didn't want to be in that anymore. There's a thing in Canada, where I'm from, it's one of the coldest places in Canada. It has got to minus 56 before. Absolutely insane. Sometimes it's colder than Mars where I live. Sometimes it is that cold and we still survive. So if anyone ever needs to go to Mars, probably just like get some people from Manitoba. We're probably the best suited people to go to Mars. We just know how to survive in that environment. It's not fun, but the joke growing up the joke of the community growing up was always like, I'm going to grow up and then I'm going to move away so I don't have to live where the air hurts my face. I have done that. Other people are like, they're salty towards me because I've done it and they haven't done it. I don't know. They can live in their own saltiness. I don't care. But like, it's weird. I've had some people, I wear this shirt for a reason, but there's some people that are still salty towards me because I'm chasing my dreams. Huh? Like, why do people say some of the things that they say? Is it a jealousy thing? Is it I chase my dreams and they're not brave enough to chase their dreams, so they have to attack me? I don't know. It's wild. I mean, that's part of being in the limelight also. You just have people that are negative, and I don't know how to explain why they say and do some of the things that they do. That's on them. I'm going to continue living my own life. I'm going to continue to be kind. I think that's the best way to go through life. It's doing pretty good for me so far. Which is my next point. I haven't had a bad day since I left Canada. Now, I'm not going to get into all the political stuff, but Canada is basically a sinking ship at this point, and things are clearly not getting any better. I have chosen to leave that place that's one of the reasons. Now that I'm down here, I'm in the sunshine all the time. Like, people are telling me, they're like, you haven't had a bad day. Like people that know me, they're like, you haven't had a bad day since you left. Taylor wants to be in the podcast, right? Taylor, I haven't recorded a podcast for like 5 months now. It's one of those, it's kind of at that moment where like, all right, I haven't done this for a while. I guess everybody kind of needs an update. Like, I don't think I've put anything out for 4 or 5 months. Yeah. Fun example of not having a bad day. Even this thing caught on fire on the side of a mountain at midnight, and I still had a good attitude about it. And I was like, ooh, this is an exciting adventure. Like, it's a terrible situation for most people. They're not going to be like, oh yeah, that was fun. For me, I don't know. For whatever reason, I had a great attitude about it. It was an adventure for me. I connected with a super awesome military guy who had a restaurant on the side of a mountain, and he drove me all around and everything. I actually did a whole YouTube episode about it. You can watch it here. Ding! But all that is to say, I haven't had a bad day. Like, yesterday I felt kind of sick, and it ended up being like I was laid in bed most of the day. I think that's the only time that I haven't felt awesome since I've been down here in the sun. And I mean, part of that is it's just an exciting adventure to be on. I'm down here in the States. I'm meeting all sorts of people all over the place. I know people all across the US, and everyone's like, oh, come visit me, come visit me, come visit me. I'm like, hey, when I'm in that area, yeah, I'll happily come visit you. Right now, I'm sitting on Taylor Willis's driveway. He invited me, and he's like, yeah, you can come park on my driveway as long as you want. I did the whole influencer thing with this company, Move Bumpers. They sent me this bumper for free, and then I have to video the whole build process of it and everything and put it on there. That is arguably costing me way more money than it would have cost just to buy this thing and do it myself. The amount of time it takes to film and edit and produce a whole video about making that thing, the bumper's costing me probably 4 times what it would have cost me just to do it on my own. But it's part of that whole thing. It's part of everything that I like doing. I like making the trades with companies. I'm talking with the CEO of this thing now. He loves this whole thing. Like, it's pretty cool. I have these crazy connections where I talk to CEOs of like big companies all the time. I'm like, how am I here right now? And part of it is this message, being kind. It is wild how many people are not kind, and it is wild how just being kind gets you all sorts of crazy, wild connections. I have endless stories of the weird, strange places that I'm in around these crazy influential people, or super mega wealthy millionaires, or super poor people that are the nicest people in the world that'll give you the shirt off their back when they only have 4 shirts in total. You're like, I love people. And I have this being kind message that I put out that has allowed me to meet the best people. And it kind of just eliminates like a lot of the shitty people, to be honest. Shitty people don't want to be kind. And when all you do is produce a message of being kind, they don't want to be around you. So I'm around people that just want to be kind all the time. It's pretty great. I'm loving my life. This driveway that I'm sitting on, Taylor Willis and his wife Caitlin invited me to stay on their driveway as long as I want. I can plug in electricity. I can use their shower. They're feeding me every night. Like, just wow. They have blessed me so much, including their children. Now, I have a great connection with children. I'm a very friendly guy. It seems most people's kids love me. I've been inducted as a funkle to these guys. I'm Uncle Cody already because I just play with them. So if I'm in there working all day, and then 5 o'clock comes around, I go hang out in the backyard, and we're throwing frisbees around. We're playing. He's got a couple of 2-year-olds. They are a party. They are a lot of work, and they are messy, and you can't really understand what they're saying, but they have been able to say my name, and they're showing me all 900 of the dinosaurs that they own, and it's fun. It is a great break from working all day, working, and then to just go be around kids. Kids are so fun. They fill me with so much joy. They're just get entirely sucked into their world, and all they care about is dinosaurs. Hey, look at my dinosaur. They're happy as can be. That's all that matters to them. So I like just jumping into their world. That blesses me a ton. Super, super thankful for my connection with Taylor and Caitlin. Awesome people. Like, I can't say at this point, they are my best friends in Texas. All right, we're getting to the end of this. I know it's been a long one, but I haven't talked to you for a long time. So if you're still here, right on. Thanks for sticking around. Where am I going from here? So I'm kind of right now in a season of refocusing. So What do I do? What do I leave alone? There's 1,001 things that I could be doing. What are the most important for the foundation of this business? What are the things that I need to focus on? What are the things that are like, okay, that's fun, but that doesn't actually build the business. Let's leave these things alone and let's focus on these things. So I'm in that mental space right now. What do I need to focus on? The AMBO is a real deal. Lots of very incredibly successful people that I look up to, they've been watching my life for the last year or two kind of thing as I'm growing the business. And their comments are all consistent amongst all of them. They're like, all the pieces are there. You have all the pieces. You just got to figure out how to put them all in sync so that they work together and it all flows. And so that's kind of where I'm still in that box of, I got everything, but how do I make it all work? And so it's kind of a Rubik's Cube or a puzzle or whatever's. I need to figure out how to just get everything there. I have all the pieces. I recognize that. I can see that. But making it all work and flow and that thing, that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. Yeah, as a whole, like, I'm successful enough that I can keep myself alive. Obviously, I'm not starving, but I don't have the resources there. I mean, I'd love to buy a house down here in Texas. I'd love to buy that house right there. I don't have that money. Like I said, I forgot to pay my property tax. There's money there, but it's like, if I want to pay my property tax, then I'm gonna get hungry. That's real honest for you right there. Is, yeah, do I eat or do I pay taxes? And it's this being one of the pieces. Like, it's there, but it's not profitable right now. So I can survive. I can make enough money that I can put fuel in it and I can eat, and it covers my expenses. But I'm at a net zero, possibly slightly a little bit under, and that's just the reality of it. I'm out pushing the front lines of what I'm trying to do here. There's no stability there. I'm just out in the open, almost waiting to get shot down. That part's not the funnest. It is very uncomfortable, but I'm chasing that dream, and if I'm sitting at home on the couch, I'm not getting anywhere. I'm not experiencing anything. I'm not learning anything by sitting at home not doing anything. So here I am out here. I'm in the thick of it, trying to make it all work. That's part of my goal. Part of that 6 months that I talked about before, having no income, lots of money going out, editors and stuff that were working for me, I had to let some of them go because they were not doing what I was paying them to do, and it was part of the thing where I just had to hard stop everything. And so now I'm back to running a skeleton crew. I have internal business stuff. I got lots of guys on the horizon so that when the work does come, then I can fuel that fire there. Right now, where I'm at, I don't want to have this conglomerate that I'm responsible for feeding other people's families. I'm working on feeding myself right now. I don't even have a house here. I have a house at home. That's a whole other thing. I have a house and I have a shop that's at home that I'm paying for, but I'm not doing any work out of those things. So those have become liabilities, not assets. I'm paying to have those, but they're not making me any money in the business world. That's a depreciating thing. Not the smartest play, but it's just part of where everything is at right now. As I said before, I'm trying to do so many things all at one time. It's like I'm spinning my wheels and I'm going nowhere. So I have to get my mind to a place where it's okay with not doing everything and being okay with that. Shiny, 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 shiny. I want to do all the shiny things, but I have to be okay with, like, maybe do one shiny thing and then the rest of it, like, let's make this foundation thing happen. That's the important stuff. That's what's going to allow me to keep doing the shiny stuff, to keep doing the cool stuff, keep doing the fun stuff. That's what I'm refocusing my brain on. Stop so many shiny things. And again, this is where my girlfriend comes in. She's incredibly insightful into here's all the stuff you're doing that doesn't necessarily add the most value to what you're trying to do right now. So incredibly thankful for her. She's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm telling you what I'm noticing. You can make your own decisions. And I see how you work. I trust you. I see all these beneficial things, these great things about you, but you got to make that decision. You're your own man. I'm like, huh, cool. I like you. She's phenomenal. So that's, as I was saying, something's got to give. I can't do everything, and that's where the podcast, it just kind of had to stop. Couldn't do it. I'm just giving you an update right now, just to keep you in the loop as to where things are at right now. At this point, I don't plan on continuing doing the podcast because because it's not profitable for the business, it is profitable for my mind. There is value in it. For me, sitting down, writing all this stuff out, and then recording it. So that's another point of accountability. I say it out loud. I'm accountable to myself because I've heard it audibly. And then I post it online. I'm also accountable to all of you guys that have now watched this. So there is some value there, which I might go back and forth a little bit in my mind to like, do I need to keep doing this podcast because it's a good mental thing and it helps keep me humble, it helps keep me stabilized? Maybe, I don't know, I'm gonna sit and chew on that a little bit. But my first instinct is, let's not do too many things at one time. And the podcast would be doing just yet another thing. We'll see what happens there. So my apologies that the content hasn't been consistent. I think I have now explained why. Mostly I feel like I'm talking to myself this whole time. Just that audible hearing my own story to myself is where I'm getting the benefit from this. And it's something that I'm working on. So I got to focus on all these pieces that are lining up. Like, how do I synchronize them? How do I make this all work so that this thing becomes profitable, money starts flowing? I would love to buy it. As I said before, I would love to buy a house down here and settle somewhere, make roots, and then I can go out from here. And that's kind of my ultimate plan. Where exactly I settle down, that's a big decision to make. So there's just a ton of factors involved in that. So that's I'm working on it. I've been working on it for 1.5 years now. Nothing that lasts happens quickly from what I know, and I have to be okay with that. So I'm okay with that. And I think that's it, guys. It's a great day to have a great day. I am having a great day. I'm here, and it's not 100 degrees in Texas today. It's nice overcast. I quite enjoy that. I'm gonna go edit this podcast and get all that stuff done, and then I got to finish that bumper and get it painted and get it on the ambo, and then that's a whole episode that I need to edit there. But yeah. Go make somebody smile.